What up, America? What up, world? Welcome to A Better Black America, the number one urban podcast in these United States of America. Today is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. Now, this is our number 6 episode of our podcast series that we're relaunching, that we're starting. So this is number 6. So we don't want to move forward without communicating and really understanding what's really going on. Now, there's been a lot of debates and a lot of discussions about what route Black America will go moving forward from 2020 and beyond, 2021 and beyond, because right now the Biden administration has basically blown their cover. The cover is literally blown. And when I say the cover is blown, it's starting to seem like one of our political parties is starting to look like a adversary in plain sight. And when President Joe Biden said, this election is for the soul of America, they got the soul. And look what they're doing with the soul of America. So if this race was for the soul of America, then that makes us dead politically to the Democratic Party. Because when you want somebody's soul, it's literally their last breath. In this situation, it's the last ditch effort or the last election or the last opportunity that the Democratic Party in these United States of America have with that one eye on top of that pyramid on your dollar bill. This was their once in a lifetime opportunity to start the new world or the one world order. Now, if you look at the world as it is today, you have the gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. OK, in America, we're going to talk about it because it looks like there's either a silver medal or we're going to be a part of the gold medal when it comes to race in America. But just sticking to topic, gold, silver, bronze. And when you talk about the big three in the world, America, China, Russia. So you only have 3 champions. One of them is the best. One of them is second best. And one of them is the latter, which is third place. And depending on where you at and where you look at it and where you debate or where you want to live, it's disputable if America has the gold. Right now, we have the bronze, but we still are part of the big 3. China seems to fluctuate between silver, and silver. They cool right there in the middle because, you're the enemy of my friend or my friend is the enemy to my enemy type thing, which is talk art of war. And when you're dealing with countries like China, you're dealing with philosophy, you're dealing with historical artifacts, you're dealing with things that they know work scientifically. This is why the Biden administration says, follow the science. But American science is white supremacy and Willie Lynch right in your face. And when I say Willie Lynch, and be on the lookout, because we're going to do the Willie Lynch podcast. We're going to do a podcast. It's called Surviving Willie Lynch. And we're going to break down the Willie Lynch letter. We're going to look at the data and transfuse that data into today and modern times to actually see the parallels and how that Willie Lynch science is working to perfection today. And it was a catalyst to how the Democrats won the election, whether they stole it or not. That's, we can't talk about that, but we see exactly the same, I want to say remnants, but the word I'm looking for, the same actual traceable evidence, meaning if you take the Willie Lynch science of today and the Willie Lynch science of 1725, you copy both. You copy both files, or you copy the data from both, and you can actually sit 2022 on top of that, and it'll look like it's traced out perfectly. Follow the science. So this is how we break the cycle. So when I talk about the big three: gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, right now Russia is in control. America had the gold for the last 4 years when it comes to the globe. Because if you look at any picture, or if you look at anything, when President Donald Trump went to go see Vladimir Putin, you could see who the aggressor was. You could see who the bully was. You could see who the stronger of the two was. I've seen Putin stick his hand out and Donald Trump grabbed his hand, snatched him, pulled him to him, grabbed his arm, shook his hands. And I don't know what he said to him, but it looks like in the art of war, you keep your friends close, but yet your enemies closer. And then you look at the president going to Kim Jong-un, North Korea, and frequently visit China. But look, what my point is, China is set right there with the silver medal. Now, America went from the gold medal to the bronze right now, and then Russia got the gold. But it looks like while the adversaries of this nation, including the Democratic Party, and I'm just being honest with you, has a vision of world dominance of united allies. Somehow we're connected to the EU, European Union. We're connected to NATO, and they're putting the EU and NATO together, which makes it about 40 plus nations. But it looks like America has decided to join forces that really don't like this country. If you look at the Democratic Party as a whole, if you look at the dark money, if you look at the investors, the George Soros and, the funders of these things, these are Hungarian foreign nationals that live in this country because this is the safest place for them to live, but they don't love this country. And more than likely, it would be advantageous for them for it to be a one rule. Now, you talk about the British working with America. The British is still upset that they did not conquer America, that they lost the Revolutionary War in 1776 and they got sent back packing. General George Washington. If you look at China and Japan, if you look at these nations, America has did some strange things, some really horrendous things over these years. Even in this nation, slavery. But if you look at the big picture, just imagine Japanese history. When you talk about America dropped on record the only atomic bombs and shut the war down. America has done some strange things, but the crazy part about it is, how do we have a Chinatown in this country? How do we have a Koreatown in this country? How do we have little Tokyo, little Saigon? How do we have all these little towns of these foreign nations and these foreign entities that America has pretty much destroyed? A lot of cultures tuck their history and hide their history and talk and communicate and teach their history. America is the only country that I know of where its citizens and it's the people that live here are the ones that's being manipulated to the point where this history is not real. Because if you look at the critical race, that's a big issue. Racial issues is a global issue, but let's put a place marker right there. But America is in the bronze medal position. And I'm going to say this. Do you not think any and every country in the world, including Ukraine, want that bronze medal globally? So everybody outside of the Russians, outside of China, has latched on, and it has attached itself to the United States. And how can you win or climb a hill when you got dead weight? So this is why we're pulling back politically, socially, economically. The black race here in America, we are no longer a stronghold to the Democratic Party because you had your opportunity and you lost your opportunity. If we selected Biden as a coach and we went to the championship the last 4 years and now we're not even qualifying, gas is, I saw today is March 8th, 2022. I saw today where gas prices have superseded the gas prices back in 2008. And that's when we was under a whole lot of issues when it comes to global with wars, the Taliban, 9/11, and it was a clear indication. And that was the end years of the George W. Bush administration. And with the George W. Bush administration, it looks just like this. They rammed the country into the ground to build it back better. Now, when you say build back better, Obama had an opportunity to do that, and he had 2 terms. Trump had an opportunity. He only had 1 term. Now, just in less than 300 days of politicking, barely over the first year of from the inauguration, this country is spiraling out of control. And if you don't see it, then you're one of the ones that, the misery loves company, because we as American citizens, we have parachutes. So if you got a parachute and the plane is crashing, you'll be a fool to not jump and take your chances. So this is Black America, and this is America when you talk about class. So just like the foreign nations attach themselves to the Democratic Party, why don't you guys attach yourself once again to the Black movement? And this is the movement of upward mobility when it comes to the race. This is why we reject liberalism and accept conservatism. And when I say conservative, it does not mean Republican. It means God, man, woman, and child, meaning there's a higher power, meaning there's a moral responsibility. Just like in biblical terms, there's Sadducees and there's Pharisees. One had a God, one held up the standard, but then there was another level. And that's the level that we're rising up to, the oracle. The sovereign level, the mortar and the clay in between the 2 fixed objects that cannot connect without some type of base. And that's who we are. And we cannot sit back and watch this nation launder money into Ukraine, launder money into the European Union. Kamala Harris goes to Poland just days after billions of dollars was sent over to Ukraine and weapons. So now let's go ahead and get our share and bring that back. Because why did we leave Afghanistan? Why did we leave 93% of the world's opioids, which is our painkillers, which is our epidurals, which is our morphine, Oxycontin? At least when things would happen, the pharmaceuticals would take a hit. Big Pharma, Purdue Pharma got sued because of the fentanyl. Now it's unregulated. Now you're seeing a lot of fentanyl deaths starting to resurface because they're unregulated and they're coming through our unregulated southern border. I don't know why or how building a wall or basically having a defense down in our southern borders was an issue, but somehow liberals, mainstream media, white liberals is the issue. White liberals is white supremacy, whether they're Jewish, whether they're from Ukrainian, whether they're whatever. White liberals. Okay, conservatives, human beings. And like I said, conservative does not mean Republican. When you are a Trump supporter, they say they're a Trump supporter. We are no Trump supporters, but we will support any presidential candidate that looks at the Black race and our condition here in America, because this is what we're fighting for. It's called a better Black America. It's basically race-based to talk about race so we can actually close the chapters on race, because if we close the chapters on race, then we'll spearhead the humanitarian